other half of our Can Rock division, Funk. We've got two time zones, so they're gonna watch this right after our Alberta portion of the division listens in. So I'm gonna throw you up on the screen so everyone can see you. They've got a TV, so they'll be looking this way. They'll be able to see you.
Sweet.
So let's pull this off here. All right. This guy is the reason I get Rex. Love it. Okay, I'm just gonna make you big screen. Here we go. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. You guys are in for a treat this morning. I'm going to introduce you guys to Alex. Many of you have seen him online or heard about him through our Vector programs, but I'm going to give you guys a little introduction, and then I'm going to let him rip for you guys to give you the goods as we dive into the second half of this push. So Alex started as a sales rep in 2019. He sold over $12,500 in his fast start. That year, he sold over 65,000 as a new sales rep. He had back-to-back 20K pushes as a sales rep. He got over 2,500 recommendations even before the app was a thing. So he was averaging like 15 referrals on almost every demo he did. He won 2 All-American scholarships. So as you guys know, we have a scholarship that's competitive here in Canada. They've got one that's even more competitive down in the States. So his second summer with Vector, he sold Cutco his first year in 2019. In 2020, he was promoted to a branch manager. His branch finished in the top 10 of our company that summer. His branch produced over $286,000 in sales that summer. After he branched, he made a decision not to pursue post-secondary, and he worked with the division manager of the North Star division, Dane Espegard, for a year and a half as Dane's pilot manager. That year, when Alex was a pilot manager in 2021, the Minneapolis office set an all-time sales record, like period, for office sales. That office sold $4.7 million worth of Cutco in 2021. And Alex was the pilot manager that year. They did $800,000 in new rep sales. And some other stuff here. In 2022, he opened up as a district manager. He was the number 2 new district manager in the company. In 2023, he was the number 1 overall district manager. He won the Rolex that year. His office sold over $1.2 million worth of Cutco. And he also was number 6 all-time first full-year DM since 2014, which is exciting. He coached over 18 10K fast starters. He's coached over 21 reps to sell over $30,000 worth of Cutco in his career. And I know he dreams big. He's got a book called The Dreams List that I've read before. And outside of all of his Vector and Cutco accomplishments, here are all the trips he's been on with Cutco. He's been on 20 plus Cutco paid trips. He's been to Jamaica, Olean, Cabo 4 times, Cancun. He's been to Maui, New York City, London, Ireland, Barcelona, Madrid, Budapest, Vegas 5 times since he's been a DM. And just earlier this year, got married to his dream girl in a dream destination in Georgia. And he's also, through his time, owned over 5 houses and 3 Airbnbs before the age of 25. He has now helped 8 other people in counting into real estate investing, one of them being me. I joined Alex runs a mastermind that I'm a part of. And he's ran another fun fact, he's run a marathon on a treadmill before. He's done a bodybuilding show, and he's a dear friend and buddy of mine. So he's going to be giving you guys the goods this morning. Grab a pen and paper, and Alex, you've got the Can Rock division. Here we go.
Awesome. Can rock. We can rock this morning, huh? Oh man. Okay, Johnny, how much I didn't ask you, is it like 20 min? Is that right?
Yeah, you got till the top of the hour.
Don't worry, guys, it'll go by really fast. Okay, this is going to be, I hope, so much fire. Check out my mug this morning. Darth Vader. Anybody here see Star Wars or no? On one hand, okay. You would have a bigger push if you watched Star Wars beforehand, I think. So everyone, that maybe is your homework if you have time. But sweet. Okay, I'm gonna talk about something that you guys are gonna think is fake. It's gonna be called. This is actually what I put on the top of my document. So if everyone could write this down on your notes, ready? How to. I promise this talk is not about making phone calls, but like just hear me out. If you could write down how to love phoning and flip the switch. That's what I want you to write down, because I actually am going to touch on a couple things that have to do with making phone calls, but in the spirit of the alliance being going on right now and you guys locking in, and like I see you guys at the office at 7:30 in the morning, like dialed in. That Nike crew neck looks thick in the front row. What's his name in the front row? What's the crew neck guy?
Avon.
Avon?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Avon, you're just like literally right in the middle, so I had to just give you a shout out. But like everyone, you guys look sharp. Okay, it's not just the Nike crew neck. But anyway, I think that if you can understand the couple things that I'm about to go through this morning, and not just understand them, but if you can believe them, your Cutco experience, and honestly, your life experience, is going to be drastically different. Like you have an opportunity to unlock the rest of your life if you can believe the things that I'm about to go through. So I put in the chat room when Johnny was talking, I've had an awesome Cutco experience in the last 5 years, 6 years, and a lot of sales and like a lot of cool trophies and like just a lot of great experience, like I said. But I would have never thought that would have been me. And until I tried to quit my training twice, you guys. I tried to literally leave training. My manager wouldn't let me leave. And it was because I was super nervous. I was not confident at all. Like if I stood in front of the class, my face turned purple. I got so nervous when I was in college. And I just was the chubby kid growing up, middle child, middle cousin. I just never really felt like I belonged in a room either. It was weird. I won Homecoming King, but it was because I literally put myself in every room possible and felt like an outcast in everyone. It was where I was like on the football team, but I was also in a musical, but I was also in a cappella choir, but I was also in the wood shop. Like I was just everywhere because I didn't really feel like I don't know. I was always just trying to like find my voice or find myself. And then came Cutco, tried to quit training, and my manager taught me some of the things in my training. Casey Fenelon, Johnny knows Casey, I think. In my training, he said some of these things, and it clicked for me. My first, before I sold $1 of Cutco, of like, wow, we are actually doing a service when we call people. I think these things that he taught that I learned in my training 6 years ago changed the way I look at Cutco, making phone calls, doing demos, doing anything. So, how to love phoning and flip the switch is actually what I would probably call this. You could call it just like a little, not mindset talk or pep talk, but I think if you believe this stuff, you're gonna be a friggin' telephone terrorist after this. Like you're gonna be absolutely dominating on the phone. So here's what I want you to write, okay? Or just like jot these things down as I'm going through, because again, to hear it is one thing, to write it down in a notebook is one thing, but I always love this saying from one of my really good friends and used to be mentors. Now he helps me out with a lot of stuff. Austin Overbill. Like I heard this from him like 4 years ago. He said, "Notebooks is where greatness goes to die," or something like that. Basically, what he was saying is, you could take notes on stuff all day, but if you don't believe it, if you don't apply it, it's completely worthless. So I want you guys to raise your hand for me. Don't raise your hand yet, but raise your hand if you've ever felt nervous or hesitant about making phone calls. Anybody ever feel nervous or hesitant about making phone calls? That's what I thought. Okay. The reality is phoning can be intimidating. Okay. It really can be, but we're going to break down why it doesn't have to be. And by the end of this, again, I really think I can get you guys to love picking up the phone. If you believe the words I'm saying, I think you will love picking up the phone. So let's strip this all the way down. When that feeling, I want you guys to all feel that feeling in your tummy that you feel when you say you get nervous about making phone calls. Okay. I call that the roller coaster feeling. That's that feeling in the tummy where it's like, oh my gosh, what am I about to do? And then has anyone here ever made a phone call and then they booked a demo with you and they seemed super nice and then you were like, oh, I didn't even really have anything to worry about. Has anyone ever experienced that? Like almost every time they book a demo with you, right? Same thing as a roller coaster. Roller coasters can be nerve wracking, right? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so scary, whatever. And then you actually ride the roller coaster and you're totally fine. Okay. It's so that idea, that roller coaster feeling, that is wired into us. Okay. And it comes from this common place, actually, way back from our ancestors. Okay. I want you guys to understand that all of the common fears that you experience as a human being, fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fear of being seen, fear of being insincere, all of those things, that all comes out in one spot when you're making phone calls. You see that? Like when you make a phone call to book a demo, all of the common human fears are right there, all compressed into one action, which is making a phone call. Isn't that crazy? So now it makes sense, of course, why you'd be a little nervous to make phone calls. But what you have to understand about these fears is that we've all felt it. Fear of judgment is wired into us. It's part of our evolution to stick with the pack. Okay. Because if our ancestors hundreds of thousands of years ago didn't stick with the pack, guess what? They would have died. We watched Ice Age last night. The movie is pretty average. It's not super great. I fell asleep actually, but I caught myself up on the summary on YouTube this morning. But literally it was like hunter and gatherers. If somebody strayed from the pack, they just would die. So it's literally wired into us as humans to fit in. And if you don't fit in, back in the day, you would just die. So the only genes that carried on over and over were of the people who fit in. So that's where a lot of our like innate fear of judgment and fear of being an outcast or fear of being different or fear of being seen, a lot of that is wired into us. And then it all comes out when you're making phone calls. So what's great though is that we don't live to survive anymore. We live to be awesome, right? We live to create an amazing life. And when you're showing Cutco, I want you to think about when you make a phone call to book a demo, I want you to think about what you're actually doing when you make that phone call, because what you're not doing is you're not calling someone to sell them knives. I want you to really understand this. I want you to believe it. Maybe, jot a couple of these things down. Okay, where does that fear come from? It's wired into us, okay? But is there actually logic in that fear? Because what you're doing when you're calling someone to book a demo is you're not calling to say, hey, will you buy these knives for me? You're calling them to attempt to help them solve real problems that they didn't even know that they had. You're literally going to show them, as long as they pick up the phone, because I want you to think about this. When you make phone calls, there are two outcomes. Either they don't answer the phone or they answer and book a demo with you, because you're not calling to sell them anything. You have to believe this. You are calling to help them solve a problem that they didn't know they had. The problem with a lot of HM30s, do you guys call it HM30 or what do you call it? Mac?
Mac.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Mac, HM30. Yep.
So the problem with a lot of Mac customers, friends, I just got married 4 months ago now. Oh my gosh, I should probably know exactly. What is that? 4 months ago. So 5 months ago. Okay, whatever. So I just got married. And if I didn't work with Cutco, you know what I would have put on my registry for sure? I would have checked the box for kitchen knives, because we checked the box on a lot of other stuff like pet vacuum and regular vacuum and kitchen, whatever. We checked the box on a lot of stuff on the knot.com. I would have for sure checked the box for kitchen knives. The knives would have came, we would have used them for a few years. I would have been like, wow, these knives suck. And then at one point I would have went to Walmart and I would have probably got new knives and I would have spent maybe $100 on them, would have brought them home. They would have also sucked. And then, my wife, if we didn't know anything about Cutco, she'd be like, hey, can you sharpen these knives? They're really dull. And then I would be like, I don't really know how to sharpen knives. So then I'd go back to the store. I'd probably buy another cheap set of junky knives and just swap them out, try to do it secretly, and she wouldn't even notice. And then we'd be like 35 years old and someone like you would call and say, hey, you know, I'm doing this for school or whatever. You don't even have to buy anything. I'm sure you have a ton of kitchen stuff already. And then I'd be like, I actually do have a lot of kitchen stuff, but sure, yeah, I have time. I'll hear you out. And then we sit down. And if I didn't have Cutco, again, if my life story was that I got these knives for my wedding and then I kept buying cheap ones, if someone showed me the Cutco demo, I'd be like, damn. I'd be like, I didn't know I had a knife problem, but I really do. I actually do. Shoot. Shoot, Emily, I'm gonna have to just buy the full set. I guess it does make sense because we went to Home Depot the other day, and you know what it's like being a homeowner at Home Depot? Tap to pay, Apple Pay, $736 for some like landscaping stuff. So it's a set of knives that last forever. I'd be like, that's actually pretty cheap. You know, I think I can get behind that. So what I'm trying to say is when you book a demo, you're not automatically trying to sell someone something. You're actually helping them solve a real problem. The last mindset shift to open this up with is when you're calling, I want you to think about it like this. Think about if it wasn't Cutco, but Johnny was your manager for a lawn mowing business. Okay. I want you guys to actually think about this. If you joined Cutco Corporation and it wasn't knives, but it was lawn mowing, would there be any nerves calling up your neighbors offering to mow their lawn for them? Like, would you even feel, because you know you're doing a service when you're mowing lawn, that it's the same feeling you have to understand when you show somebody Cutco. It's a service. You're giving them a solution, an opportunity to solve the problem that they didn't even know that they had. So I want you to think about all those things mindset wise, why we get nervous, where it comes from, why it makes sense, but also why it's not really justified because it's not logically thinking about what that phone call is for. And the outcomes are either they don't answer or they book it down. That's it. So think about it like lawn mowing. I personally wouldn't get nervous at all to call people and offer to mow their lawn because I know it's a problem. My neighbor right there, I'm actually looking, definitely needs a haircut on his. So I should go knock on his door and say, I'll mow your lawn for $20. And you could call that, sales, but really it's just solving problems. So here's a couple tips to make phoning more fun. Okay. If I helped with the mindset part at all, great. If not, I don't know. At least for me, I learned that stuff in training and I was like, you know what? He's totally right. And it helped me for the rest of my Cutco career with making phone calls. Second thing, even if they don't book a demo, which they probably will, but even if they don't, if you can leave that call as a highlight of their day, it really doesn't matter what the outcome is. So how do you make it so that when you call someone, it always is the highlight of their day? First thing is you got to spice it up and you got to have fun on the phone. If you make a phone call and you're not excited about your demo, they are not going to be either. Does that make sense to everyone? I once had an insurance guy call me up and I answered and he was like going through his like pitch. And by the end of the phone call, I thought like, okay, I'm going to book this, but there's no way I'm going to spend an hour with this guy because I'm like falling asleep on the phone call with him. And I ended up rescheduling and then no show. I was that Mr. Jones. But it was because the guy put me to sleep on the phone call. So if he would have been fun and he would have like brought some energy out, it would have been something I would have looked forward to. Is that making sense? That first phone call, it really does set the tone for how they're going to feel about the demo. So have fun, make them laugh. Like, don't go in trying to book the demo. Go in trying to be the highlight of someone's day. Think about these HM30s or these Mac customers, like bless you in the back there with the sneeze. Think about these Mac customers like my mom. My mom is an empty nester. She sent 3 kids out of the house now. My mom wakes up, has coffee, goes to work, does work stuff, comes home, sits there. I don't know. I know she watches a lot of shows lately. She has a nice garden, but like, I'm not saying her life is boring, but it's definitely a lot more boring than it was when she had 3 kids at the house. So if someone called and was fun and light and just some like energizing youth energy on the phone and was like, you don't even have to buy anything. It's really fun. You bring the drinks, I'll bring the jokes, something like that. Like my mom would be like, oh, this sounds like a highlight. This sounds fun. So have that mindset when you're making the phone call, make it fun. Okay. Make it something that they're going to look forward to. It's not that hard to like be a light in somebody's day. The goal isn't to book the demo. The goal is be the highlight. of Mrs. Jones' day. So no more thinking about phone calls as a chore. Think about them as an opportunity to, again, make someone's day, brighten their day, teach someone something new, connect with a human being. Even if they don't buy anything, they will gain value from talking to you if you can leave the conversation better than you hopped on. It's not about the demo. It's never about selling knives. And that leads me to why phoning matters. Okay, why phoning matters. By you making the choice to make the phone calls, to book the demos, to show people Cutco, et cetera, what you're doing is you are owning the fact that you are different. You are stepping into and owning the fact that you are different. It's always easy to judge what people don't understand, right? So if one of my friends did something and I didn't understand why or didn't understand it, I probably would judge it. Like if one of my friends is like, hey, I'm gonna go get my MBA, and if I don't understand an MBA, if I don't understand the value, in my mind, I'm like, well, I would never get an MBA. It seems like a lot of money and a lot of time. I don't know what that'd be used for, but it's because I don't understand it. So if somebody doesn't understand your situation or understand the skills that you're getting from selling Cutco, of course you might feel like they're judging you, but they don't understand anyway. So I want everyone to kind of like just have a temperature check with yourself. In today's world, there is the clear 99%, and then there's a clear 1%. And I think the difference of the 99%, like the majority, and the people who are in the top 1%, doesn't have anything to do with money or doesn't have anything. I think it has to do with how they perceive opportunity. Because it's never been easier to live a life of nothing. It's never been easier to just wake up, go to school, come home, go on TikTok, fall asleep, wake up, do it again, and then you swap school out for a job. So then you wake up, the mundane, blah blah blah, go through the motions. And what I love about Canada division, I don't know if you guys still do like all of the dreams, Shayla used to always talk about and everything. Like, I believe in that for sure. That's why this book right here, the dreams list. I have a huge dreams list. I have like 2,500 dreams on my list. But what you have to really understand is when you make the decision to sell Cutco, to make the phone calls, to whatever, it's different, and that's probably a good thing. I live by the motto that if I'm doing something against the grain, that's probably a good thing because I don't want to be like 99% people. I like sometimes I go work from McDonald's because they have fast Wi-Fi and Diet Coke, and like I just get locked in McDonald's cafe, and I see the people that walk in, and I'm not trying to judge anyone, but it's always a good reminder for myself of like, I don't want to be like the 99%. I don't want to be like a lot of these people walking into McDonald's. Like I see them, they look unhealthy, they look unhappy, and I want to be at 1%. So understand doing something different is usually a good thing. Another thing to focus on too, why phoning matters, is really focus on impact over income. Focus on the value that you're bringing people, not just the sale. If you can really sell yourself and believe in the impact that you have on somebody's day in a demo, phoning stops feeling like work and it really starts to feel like purpose. Whether you sell something or not, you're going to brighten up their day. You're going to be the highlight of their day, and you're going to make a connection that might serve you later down the road. I keep track of my notes app right here, 17 job offers from either Cutco demos or Cutco connections. And there are people up at our campground that we go to. Every time we go up there, they ask me, hey, what are you up to now? And they're just like basically temperature checking to see when they're going to be able to recruit me into their company. It's like a funeral home sales job. And they always tell me, oh, you can make $200,000 and this and that. I'm always like, no, I still love what I do, but I appreciate it. So the skills that you're gaining are, I mean, it's top 1% type skills, but you have to just be willing to take that jump. Last thing to do with phoning. I want you to think about also why right now is such a great time to make phone calls. It's the summer. Okay. I always think like when I was a rep, unfortunately, I was what you'd call a push period rep. Okay. Don't be that, but that's what I was. But don't be it. I had 3 20K pushes back to back to back, and I sold 65K for the whole year. So you can do the math. on that. How much I sold outside of pushes. Don't do the math, maybe. But why I loved push periods is because the push periods were always either during the holidays or during the summers. And it was never easier to get someone to answer the phone. It was never easier to book a demo at 11 a.m. It was never easier to book a demo at 9:30 p.m. because it's light outside all day and night. People are home, people are in a good mood, and people are looking to spend cash, especially in Minnesota. I don't know what it's like up in Canada, but I feel like Minnesota's pretty close to Canada. People always say, like, we're pretty much the Canada of the United States, eh? Like, we sometimes say stuff like that. And people are on the lake, people are barbecuing. Like, summer's just different vibe. So if it's like that for you guys at all as well, I'd say same thing. Make sure that you're taking advantage of it. Okay, just to close out, here's your action steps. Okay, here's your action steps. Go back through your notes. What sell yourself on why phoning is actually a service. It's not a chore. And you get to open the portal to be a top 1%. But action steps would be number one, always set a goal. Johnny probably teaches this. You guys probably do something like this. But for me, I always had 2 different goals for every phone jam, and it took away all of the thought. I don't like thinking about anything. That's why I wear a black t-shirt from Next Level. They're like $4 online. I wear it every single day. Like literally, I don't know. There's so many things I do that it's because I don't want to have to think about something. So I just try to, like, everything is just as efficient as possible. With phone calls for me, it was always, if I'm sitting down to make calls, I'm either booking 5 demos or I'm making 50 phone calls. And I was not done until one of those 2 things was accomplished. It's either an effort goal or an outcome goal, but I never compromised. So it's one or the other. I'm either going to make 30 phone calls or I'm going to book 5 demos. And whichever one I hit first, then I'm going to hang it up for this phone session. So every time you make calls, set a goal and then start to build that resilience and accountability with yourself, that when you're the type of person who sets a goal, you hit that. Second tip for you, second action step for you is join the all phoning times. So for me, I lived 35 minutes from the closest office. I only made phone calls pretty much at the office. And it was because I had accountability. It's like working out at home versus working out at the gym. You guys are at the office right now, but that's great. Like, anytime you can join the phone jam or the phoning session, do it, because it makes anything you can do to make phoning easier. That's all you have to do. And then last tip, action step for you is have fun. I'm not saying go off script, but experiment with your phoning script to add jokes, add personality, make each phone call unique, leave them with a lasting impression, leave them with a smile. I'm a firm believer that people don't reschedule or cancel demos because they get busy or forget. People reschedule or cancel demos because they weren't looking forward to the demo, and that comes from your phone call. That comes from the initial phone call. And that ability to have someone look forward to talking to you is a life skill that will make you rich, will get you married, will bring a lot of abundance to your life, to have the skill and ability to make someone look forward to speaking to you again. So anyway, all right. Thanks everyone for your attention today. And if you need some caffeine, maybe get some so you can be just absolutely ripping it on the phone. But that's what I got. Go Vikings. If we have any sports fans, I have 2 coffee mugs with me today. Just wanted to make sure I had enough energy for you guys, you know. But Johnny, thanks for having me.
Yes, let's give it up for Alex, guys. That was awesome. Thank you, Alex. Any do you have a minute for Q&A?
Sure, yeah. If you guys have any Q.
We got we'll do 3 questions and then we're gonna get set up for our first phone jam of the day. Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Funk. Appreciate you coming on. You're the reason why I get Rex. Thank you. My question for you is, how do you set the stage for you being at their house and kind of being the highlight of the day on the phone? What's a line you use, or an energy or tonality switch that you have to make to be able to get that?
I think, yeah, great question. I mean, I don't know what your guys' phoning scripts look like exactly, but for me, I think I really believe it's actually written by the author of this book. It's called The Power of Moments. But in the book, The Power of Moments, they talk about people really remember the beginning, the end, and the fireworks. That's like the three things they remember. Like if someone goes to Disney World, they don't really remember standing in line for 7 hours. They remember the peaks. They remember the beginning, the end, and the peaks. So Disney does everything they can to make sure the beginning of the day is perfect, the end of the day is perfect, and that they just capitalize on a couple of good experiences. So when I think about the phone script, same thing. How is the beginning of the call? So are you like, how well are you setting the tone when they answer the phone? Like when they answer, are you kind of like nervous and not really, setting a great first, second impression? Here's what I would always say if someone answers the phone. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, is this, Johnny? Hey, Johnny, this is Alex Funk. And I literally is like fake laugh right there. Hey, this is Alex Funk. I don't know if my name rings a bell, but I was talking to, Shayla last week, and she said you were really nice and might be willing to help me out with something I'm doing for school. Did Shayla let you know I was going to give you a call? So that's how I would start the call always, because I felt like set a really good energy for the phone call. And then, of course, end the call with same thing. Honestly, if I summarize this tip, it would be smile while you dial. People can hear a smile through the phone, and make sure that you start the call with good energy, end the call with good energy. And lastly, how do you end the call with good energy? Say thank you like 10 times. Because thank you is like the universal, hey, this means a lot to me. I actually just went around to like a lot of my own customers, and I picked up a bunch of knives and sharpened some and whatever. And I've been writing thank you cards all week. And the thank you cards I'm sending I'm putting a Band-Aid in, and I'm literally saying thank you for giving me the time, talking to me about whatever. And then I'm saying enjoy your new sharpened up knives, and I'm sending a Band-Aid. And I just think the word thank you just like goes a long way. If you don't want people to cancel the demo, tell them thank you 10 times before you hang up, because then they're like, this is really important. And they felt good because you made them laugh and they smiled. I feel like those are like, boom. If you do that, it's going to set the tone. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great tip. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other questions? All right, let's give it up one more time for Alex.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Hey, have a great day. I love Canada. Someday I'd love to visit. Someday I'd love to go to Banff.